All right, fourth grade, we are on lesson 28, exit ticket. Mr. O'Neill, it's Mr. O'Neill again, nice to see you. Mr. O'Neill asked his students to record the length of time they read over the weekend. The times are listed in this table. All right, so we've got each kid in the class, and then how many hours they read, whether it was almost a whole hour, an entire hour, if it went beyond an hour, and so on. Okay, so what do they want us to do with this data? Number one, at the bottom of this page, make a line plot of the data. Number two, one of the students read 3/4 hour on Friday, 3/4 hour on Saturday, and 3/4 hour on Sunday. How many hours did that student read over the weekend? Name that student. All right, well, let's start by building a line plot. So we're going to create something that looks like a number line, and we want lots of room to work with, and we want lots of room to grow up. So let's start at the very bottom of our exit ticket. Before we label the numbers, let's see what's the lowest we're going to go and what's the highest we're going to go. I see that some kids didn't even make it to the full hour, so I'm going to start at 0. And other kids were able to make it to 2 hours plus extra minutes, so not quite 3 hours. So I'm going to end the number line at 3. And let's decompose it into thirds so we can mark where 1 hour is. Make that a little bit closer. And where 2 hours is. Now to plot where each of the kids are, we also have to mark all of the fractions as well. But I noticed that the fractions have different denominators. We have halves and we have fourths, kind of like the problem that was in our notes today. Now if I broke this into halves, 1/2, half, half, there we go, I'd be able to plot some fractions, like, I don't know, Robin read for 1/2 hour, okay? But I wouldn't be able to mark everybody. So I've got to decompose even further into fourths. I'm going to take each of my halves and I'm going to break them down the center to make fourths. And now each mark, each notch on my line plot represents 1/4. Just like I did in my math video, I'm going to start making mixed numbers all the way up. Might get a little bit crowded, it might not look super beautiful, that is okay. All right, so now I've labeled all of the fourths, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to mark where each of the kids in the class read. As I place a class on the line plot, I'll even check it off so I know how many kids I have left to plot. So I've already plotted Robin. Go through and plot the rest of the students where X equals 1 student. Now let's look at problem number 2. One of the students read 3/4 of an hour on Friday, 3/4 of an hour on Saturday, and 3/4 of an hour on Sunday. How many hours did that student read over the weekend, and who was that student? Well, I know that each notch on my line plot represents 1/4. So let's count up these 3/4 that they're reading each day to see where we land. On Friday, they read 3/4. 1, 2, 3. That's Friday. On Saturday, they read 3/4. 1, 2, 3. And on Sunday, they read 3/4. 1, 2, 3. So at what point in the line plot did they read that many hours? And who is that student? So I have to look back at my data and see which kid's name matches the point that we landed on our line plot. So here's the rest of your job. Finish placing the other students in the class on the line plot by drawing X's. Then go to problem number 2. Label how many hours they read and who that student was. All right, good luck.